Hey, welcome to another Facebook Live podcast. Just content creating machine. Joey Little with you here, Social Little Man. Today we're going to talk about Twitter. And if you're using it, who's using it, some updates to Twitter, if you're using it for personal, if you're using it for business. Kind of a loose conversation today. And I would say probably one of the top social media sites that are out there that confuses the vast amount of people. Meaning that... And being along for so long, too. It's been around, forever, man. It was around before Facebook. It was, we were using the same time that MySpace was kind of popping out there. But the one thing about Twitter that's unique is it really hasn't changed over the time. It's not something that there's been releases to it, but there has been something that's come out recently, which I don't think is going to save Twitter. If you've been on, founded in 2006, so it's been around for a long time. Thanks, Sean, for joining. Looks like Sally's joining from a couple floors down here in Kansas City. Matt's on. What's up, bro? But we're going to talk a little bit about Twitter today. We're going to talk a little bit about, are you on Twitter? Yeah, you're more than welcome to put your Twitter names in the comments here. But I will tell you that Twitter's just been this, it's just been this dry area of use for people that are on social. I know a lot of people that are on Twitter, but do I know a lot of people that are actively using Twitter unless it's plugged into some other kind of like social site that's feeding content in there? What's up, Sean? Thanks for joining. Kevin's in the house. But yeah, Twitter. So I will tell you this. I was an investor in Twitter for a very, very long time. I invested in Twitter. I think I bought in. Actually, I can check here and just look real quick. I've got this open. I bought in 2000. I think, yeah, in late June of 2016. I bought into Twitter, and I think I paid right around $14 for it per stock. And I will tell you, I sold my shares because it hit an all-time high right around 18 and a half in February. So early February, I dumped all of it, made $4 or $5 off of every share I had. So nice little, some pocket change, nothing real big. But now we're back to Twitter, hitting a bottom in about 14 and a half again. So Twitter's been in this decline, and it's been a weird kind of situation for Twitter. And I think the weird situation for it is that not a lot of people really understand it. Your normal kind of everyday users or everyday kind of just people. Chris says personal podcast gets great engagement on Twitter way more than Facebook. I'd agree. I think that there are people that really stick to Twitter. I think I use Twitter as a news feed. But I use it specifically. I don't go to Twitter and there's a specific reason why I go to Twitter. This week I was, earlier in the week I was at the Internet Innovation Dealer Summit, in Denver, Colorado, which by the way, big ups to Arnold Tiarina, also April Rain, and of course the fabulous Tim Jackson, the president of the Colorado Auto Dealers Association. Great event. It was cool. Had a good time. Also got a sneak peek into the auto show in Denver. Saw some cool vehicles. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about Twitter and are you using it? How are you using it? And I'm going to give you my kind of 2 cents of how I use it. Looks like Chris uses it as connected to his podcast. Is this, now Chris, I got to ask you, is that the movie podcast again? Yeah, Matt says I go for event tweets and news. Yeah, I think Matt, you and I are on the same level. So Innovative Dealer Summit, I'll patch into that and see what's going on. If anybody's using a hashtag. I know I've used it in the past for NADA, but that can get confusing too because a lot of hashtags, people don't know the official hashtag that they're attending sometimes. I do use it for sports. I follow, and there was a time here that I just completely cleared out my entire Twitter, and just recently I've started following people within the automotive industry, which is kind of... It's a delicate situation in the automotive industry because there's not a lot of car dealers out there using Twitter. It's just not a lot of car dealers using Twitter, and if they are, it's not at a very, very high capacity of using Twitter. If you connect, if you want to try to get, because that's my customers, and a lot of you that are watching this too is your customers as well, people that sell cars, move metal. It's not an ideal place to go and direct message somebody. I think a lot of majority of people use it for specific reasons such as, what's this say? Sally says just pumping out inventory links nonstop. Yeah, you just hook. What's happening at car dealerships is they're hooking up their Twitter to an automatic inventory push. So whenever they put new inventory on their website, it automatically pushes out a tweet, and that can get. It's just. I think they've been told in the past it's great for SEO, but no good. I use it for news. So if something's going on, I follow Donald Trump because I want to see what he's going to say. It's like watching a movie. What's up, Jared? Thanks for joining, man. I just want to see what he's going to say. No, it's like a reality show for me. And I will look here and see on Twitter who exactly kind of what I follow besides people in the auto industry. But I will tell you, I know that crowdsourcing, I call it crowdsourcing, I don't think it's the right terminology, I've been using it for a long time, meaning that you set up keywords and alerts. So if you're selling something and somebody, what's up, Brad? Thanks for joining. Congratulations, Brad. I think, yeah, same Brad that won the football pool or the basketball pool here at Auto Alert. And good job. I haven't got your prize to you yet, bro, but I will. And I kind of lost my train of thought. Crowdsourcing. So you're looking, so as a car dealer or somebody who provides a good or service, is that you set up alerts on Twitter. So if somebody tweets in your area or somewhere, broke car, can't afford a car, oil change, things like that. When somebody tweets that, alert you. So as a company or as a person, you can reach back out to that person without even being connected to them and send them a tweet saying, hey, listen, sorry your car broke down, but here at XYZ Ford, love to get you a loan or get your car in or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So that was been the big, and I'll tell you this, the big mystique of car dealers using Twitter. I mean, that's what everybody said they want to use. I know a lot of them out there that really do that. It's really, you can target ads on Facebook, but I'm just telling you that the auto industry is completely not, it's been years now that I haven't been 100% sucked into the whole Twitter in the auto industry. Now, I will tell you, the former company that we built at Vin Solutions, before social media was really big in automotive retail, especially on the vendor side, those of us that provide goods and services to automotive dealerships, is that I was crowdsourcing. See, when I say crowdsourcing, what one half of the world thinks crowdsourcing is getting ideas and stuff from a bunch of people at the same time, like asking a big jump, like I'm going to crowdsource ideas of what kind of shirt I should wear tonight to dinner, right? And I put it out there, and you can do that on Facebook, and that's crowdsourcing one way. I use it, and I think it's in a wrong way, is setting up the alerts and doing that. And at Vin Solutions, the company I was with, that we built, had a great time with, this company here, nobody was doing it on the vendor side. And I was pulling, there were dealers that were on Twitter that were complaining about some of the vendors they had, which is we had the same services at Vin, whether it be a CRM, whether it be a website, whether it be digital marketing tools. And you would have dealers that would go on and complain that, dealer.com wasn't, their customer service wasn't efficient enough. And so I would swoop in as Vin Solutions and say, hey, listen, have you taken a look at the websites we have? Even though I'm not connected with this dealer who's online, complaining about the customer service they have. At the same time, I was able to head off complaints about our own company. So people were complaining about Vin Solutions. I was able to head those off and create what we called unsolicited support through social media. Now, if there's any reason why to be on Twitter as a business owner or working in a company or something like that, the one major reason is to protect your own brand, right? Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Matt. Is to absolutely protect your own brand. So even if you're not sourcing out there and trying to get new leads that are coming in, you got to at least get your business name, your name personally, Joey Little, maybe not just social little man, but Joey Little, and source for those and see if those are being mentioned across the web when it comes to Twitter. I mean, that's going to be your bread and butter. So if a car dealer comes to me and says, hey, Joey, do I need to be on Twitter? Absolutely, 100%. Yes, you do, just to protect your own brand name online. It's your online reputation management. It's part of that whole process, that whole strategy of doing it. If you're selling Rodan and Fields, if you're a dentist, whatever it is, I absolutely 100% you should be on Twitter just to protect your own name online. When you want to get into the next step of sourcing out and trying to find new leads that are coming in, like if somebody's saying, oh, I broke my tooth and you're a dentist, you can reach out. Sometimes you got to be careful on that because the creepiness can get a little weird, but it is there. I mean, I've been in cities before where I've mentioned, maybe having the best Reuben in my entire life, and I've had a restaurant in another part of the country reach out and say, hey, tell us why that Reuben was so great there, social little man. I was like, who are you? Like, what? How are we having a conversation now? So you got to be a little bit careful on that and creeping people out on, but a lot of people either deal with it or don't. But yes, if you are in business, if you are in sales, yes, personally, if you're in sales, you sell for a company, you definitely need to be on Twitter. You don't have to be pushing out content all the time. Don't think of it that way. Think of it more on your online reputation management side of things. It's good to push content out, but I tell you what, the majority of people that I follow on Twitter, which I'm there right now, my first one that comes across is Scott Monty. Great guy. Used to be run digital and social for Ford. The guy puts out original content a lot. He shares a lot of things that are online. But what I see the most of, and I can go through it right now, is people who are just setting up this feed of just content that's coming from either Google or Feedly or something where there's nothing really behind it except for they're just sharing these articles that they found, and you can do those through different things. We have something here at AutoAlert that will help you out if you just want to, provide content to Twitter all the time and then not have to mess with it. Just set it up every, 20 minutes a day. Excuse me, I popped my knuckles there. And to the podcast, thanks for joining. I do appreciate that. Sometimes I get wound up in the Facebook Live and I forget that the podcast is rolling too. But if you want to get, want to put content out there, there's tons of tools that can do that. We have one here at AutoAlert. I'd love to show it to you. But what you should do first is absolutely get something set up so you can monitor what people are saying about you, your brand, your services, whatever it is, right? And I think that too many people are focused more on the content side of Twitter than they are on the online reputation side of things. Now, I will tell you some new things that Twitter had coming out. I read this earlier. Twitter's got what's called Twitter Lite. So what Twitter Lite is, let's see, this is 10 hours ago, it came out on The Verge. I was looking at this. It was more in different developed countries in the world or something like that, where internet is not as fast, as we do here in the States and other. But they've got a new web app that apparently it doesn't take as much bandwidth to run Twitter. It's a Lite version. It says here, quotes, the Lite version will load to the point of interactivity in under 5 seconds on most 3G devices, and it claims that it can save up to 70% of data while loading 30% faster. So, hey, good to you. Good job. But who's using your service, Twitter? Because all I'm seeing is people broadcasting. Not even, let's see here. I got some, I'm going to look at some, because I have a lot of people in the memes and inspirational posts. I see a ton of that. I see a lot of people that have Twitter hooked up to their Instagram, so they're posting something to Instagram. It's automatic. I do. I'm guilty of that too. I'm just pushing content out there because we think we just have to push content to be found relevant. So are you using Twitter? Those that Kimmy, you just popped in here. Emily's here. Some friends from my hometown. Are you using Twitter? In what capacity do you use Twitter? I use Twitter not only to protect my name, but the name of AutoAlerts. And some of my salespeople, my CEO, Mike DeLay. So I've got all that set up. So if somebody even mentions anything like that on Twitter, I'm going to capture that. I'm going to go ahead and take care of it. If it's a negative, I'm going to go and take care of it. If it's a positive, I'm going to respond. But I have that set up, and that's my main hookup for Twitter. Number 2, I use it for news. I use it. I want to check a hashtag, like what's trending today. So trending right now, they're talking about the whole nuclear option with the government, et cetera, et cetera. Actually, I get to see that it's National Burrito Day. These are all hashtags too. So Thursday thoughts. You get your news in there. You can see that kind of stuff. 3, here's the big one. I use it to get the attention of a company, either if I'm unhappy, which more than likely it's usually when I'm unhappy, or when I'm happy. So, case in point, I fly a lot of Southwest Airlines. I fly a lot Southwest Airlines. Kansas City's got basically Southwest and Delta at our hub here. We got other ones too, Air Canada, but it's usually Delta or Southwest, and Southwest is just a little bit easier. It's easier to book, etc. But anyway, that's my number one way of getting hold of Southwest is I tweet them, right? And of course, they want to take me to a direct message on Twitter to get that conversation. But if I'm angry about something, if they've canceled a flight, then I use Twitter to complain to businesses that are online. I also give big ups too. I've given a lot of big ups to Jimmy John's. You guys know my obsession that I had with Jimmy John's when we were in Raytown. But those are my top 3 reasons. 1, protect my name and the professional names around me and my company's name. 2 is to check it for news. 3 is to complain to businesses. And I would say probably 4 fits in there as to troll people, man. To troll. I mean, I say that, but it's every once in a while because there's some really. Oh, this is crazy. While I was doing this Facebook Live, you can see that I automatically posted a Mashable article. So I've got something that's set up. We do it here at AutoAlert. We have a program that if you want to put in, like I've got mashable.com/social media. So any new news item that gets published to mashable.com, it'll automatically post to my Twitter feed as me tweeting out. And within 42 seconds ago, I tweeted out the latest article from Mashable, which is about Mastodon. It's a new app that's trying to kind of push Twitter out. We'll have some more information on that in the future. I thought about talking about Mastodon today during the Twitter broadcast, but I couldn't actually get Mastodon's website to open up. But that's how it is. And I'm guilty of this as well. It's just pushing content out there so I'm seeming relevant that are online. It looks like Joe Webb just did the same kind of thing with what he's doing. So we're all guilty of doing it. In fact, I just talked really great about Scott Monty, but he just pushed it out twice. Same article twice. He retweeted Kendall Jenner. Amy says, all I hear is that Twitter is supposed to resemble the content you would share at a cocktail party. Conversely, Facebook is more appropriate for conversations that would occur at a family reunion. And I can't see any more there, Amy. Oh, yeah, company picnic. Lastly, LinkedIn is content that is boardroom ready. So, no, because I don't think, Amy, I don't think anybody really even cares on Twitter. I don't think it is. I don't think there's really... it's just a broadcasting social media site. It's people that are just wanting to stay relevant just by pushing content out all the time, which works, and it does. I mean, there's a reason why I follow Scott Monty. There's a reason why I follow Donald Trump. There's a reason why I also follow Bernie Sanders. I was going to look into my who I'm following. In fact, in the last Sally just retweeted my tweet that came from Mashable. So it depends on what you're going to use it for. But a lot of people just don't know. They just don't have a strategy. And I'll tell you, once again, the three main reasons why I use Twitter. One is to protect anybody that's using my... Thanks, Sally. Katie's in. Hey, Katie, what's up? 3 reasons why I use Twitter. Here we go. For those of you who are playing along, write these down. Appreciate it. 1, to absolutely protect my name, Auto Alert, Mike DeLay, Kendall Billman, Tom Walls, or C-Level, anything that has to do with business, because if somebody mentions any of those guys, what's up, Will? Thanks for joining the Facebook Live today, talking about Twitter, and thanks to all you that are joining the podcast too. I want to put those names in there as an alert. So if Joe Schmo or anybody online makes a tweet and tweets out Auto Alert without putting an @ mention in front of it, without putting a hashtag there, without putting a spelling it right, because I got auto space alert, I've got Auto Alert. If anybody mentions that on Twitter, I want to know about it. I absolutely want to know about it. So if you work at a company, if you work at a business, and it's your job to kind of protect yourself online, do that online reputation, you absolutely need to be on Twitter. 100%. You have to be there. And you got to learn to put those keywords in there to find those people and find those conversations that are going on. And even for myself. So I've got Social Little Man. I've got Joey Little. I've got Joe Little. I've got Joseph Little. Now, there's a lot of other stuff that comes in through, and you just kind of weed through it and make sure. But you've got to protect your name, because you never know who's going to go online and who's going to start talking smack because they either got really bad customer service from you, or they didn't understand, or if it was a user error, and you got to end those quick. So number 1 is you definitely have to be on Twitter just to protect your name online. Hands down. Number 2, I use it for news. I said it earlier. I'll go into Twitter sometimes. Maybe I'm usually... the ride from the airport to my place in Kansas City is about 20 minutes from downtown to the airport here. I'll jump on Twitter a little bit, just look and see what's going on. Maybe look at the hashtag of the city that I'm going to and see if anything's going on there. Just a real quick. I'm not on there a lot, but just a real quick kind of look. Or if I want to see how the Red Sox are doing, I'll check Twitter before anything else. Maybe the CBS Sports app, but mostly I'll go to Twitter. I don't use, as somebody who has the name Social in his name, Social Little Man, Twitter is very towards the bottom of the social sites that I use. It's kind of one of those set it and forget it. I know there's a lot of you out there that use a lot of Twitter, and now with Twitter, there's still some more live video, but I'm telling you, Twitter has to do something big, not just this Twitter Lite version that they've released, to bring themselves back to relevancy when it comes to social media marketing. And 3, what did I say? What was the 3rd reason I used it? Oh, to complain. Or to try to reach companies that, because you know what? I'm 42. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Gen Xer. I'm a bit lazy. I don't want to go online and look up and see what your customer service phone number is, and then I'm gonna call you. Like, it's easier for me to just tweet Southwest Airlines, right? Hey Southwest, or it's easy for me to tweet Hilton. Hey Hilton, I just talked to you guys up front at your front desk. They couldn't really help me. The room is hot, blah, blah, blah. Can you help me out? So you reach out. You do it publicly. A lot of companies are going to give you a little bit more attention if you're doing things publicly. See, Will says, Is it effective as marketing, is your opinion? I see a lot of bands using it. Well, it depends. Brad uses it to get free pants from JCPenney's. I know that's an inside joke, and I don't know what it is. But we'll get back to Will. Will's talking about bands using it. It depends. If you got a lot of followers, absolutely, man. But if you don't, you got to put a lot of time and effort into it. And the fact is, I have seen it in some situations. I will give you this. The best instance I've ever seen Twitter being used that my own personal opinion, has been food trucks, man. Like food trucks that go around the city and don't announce where they're going to be until the day of. If you've never seen the movie Chef with Jon Favreau, it's a great movie. What's awesome about the movie is, and I'll give you a quick kind of synopsis. Jon Favreau plays this big time chef that works in this big time restaurant. He ends up losing his job, or he quits his job because of his owner and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, he ends up getting a food truck, and he's got like an 11 or 12-year-old, maybe 30, I think he's 12, son. And they've got to get the food truck from Miami, Florida to like Texas or something like that, right? So the son actually sets up like a Twitter feed and Facebook for his father's food truck. And he's announcing in these cities before he gets there that the food truck is coming. And he gets this really big online presence of, this food truck everybody's showing up to. And it's blowing Jon Favreau's mind that when he's pulling up somewhere that there's already hundreds of people waiting. So Brad Paschal trolled JCPenney's for like 4 days straight on Twitter because of bad customer service, got free pants out of it. Hey, that happens, man. That absolutely happens. So I've seen how food trucks, but that's like a niche kind of a market, and they're not constantly putting out just bull crap. This is years ago, maybe 1 or 2 years ago, that Twitter was working that well for food trucks. How would it work for car dealerships? It's tough, man, because I'll tell you one thing, nobody, and I don't care how many times you look in the mirror in the bathroom and lie to yourself, but nobody wants to follow a car dealership on Twitter. Nobody. There's 2 types of people that want to follow a car dealership on Twitter. 1, they either work at the dealership, or 2, they're emotionally connected to somebody who works at the dealership. That's how it works. It's just you're going to have a hard time unless you give something away for free through Twitter, which I highly recommend. If you're going to use Twitter, then do some contesting on Twitter to your Twitter followers and give stuff away for free. Be worried about bots coming in and people that just create accounts to retweet things so much that they can win stuff. But absolutely, if you're going to be on there, you got to give stuff away. Maybe we'll talk about a strategy of some kind of contesting on Twitter. We used to do it at V100, the radio station I used to work for. We used to give away things through Twitter, and it worked out really well. But once again, that was like 8 years ago. So anyway, thanks for joining today's Facebook Live. We talked a little bit about Twitter. I would love for you to leave your Twitter name in the comments. I'll follow you if it makes you feel any better. Maybe become best friends. I appreciate it. Hey, Teresa, thanks for following me. Teresa Wagner just followed me on Twitter. I got 1 Twitter follower for doing a Facebook Live podcast on Twitter. So, and Ron Garverick. Are you watching, bro? I appreciate it. I'm probably saying your name. Garverick. Yeah, so thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening to the podcast. We're going to have a lot of fun with these going forward here, live from downtown Kansas City, Auto Alert headquarters. I'm Joey Little, the Social Little Man, and remember to keep smiling.